Hi, I'm Kinetic, and today I wanted to talk a bit more about VR. And I was thinking that I would just jump right into the deep end of the pool and open up kind of a charged topic. And no, I'm not talking about the furries. No, today I wanted to talk about feminine avatars and what it may or may not mean to wear one, especially if the people who choose these avatars are not normally feminine presenting in IRL. So, yeah, let's go take a walk. So, just to start off, I've heard several people on multiple platforms saying that VRChat is a kind of hotspot for trans people. And they make this argument because there are so many people wearing cross gender avatars. And their argument being that they jump onto the platform and they find a large number of male voices appearing as anime lollies and cat girls. And then they say, yes, there are many trans people on this platform. Now, I've also heard other people suggesting something different. What these people say is the fact that there are so many people with male voices appearing as anime lollies and catgirls is actually proof that there's a large percentage of males who would be trans if given the opportunity to do so in a safe environment. Now, honestly, I'm not sure either of these two views is totally on target. I think both of these views relies on a certain amount of circular logic to make its case. An example of circular logic is A equals B, and I'm going to prove it to you by showing how B equals A. You see, rather than proof, you just get a repetition of the claim. So, for instance, the same people who will tell you that gender's fluid and transcends imposed societal norms will often be those same people who will say that a person is closeted trans because they appear as an anime girl in VRChat. So that means that being an anime girl is feminine? Well, I don't understand. Weren't you just telling me about how gender is fluid and transcends societal norms? And then you use those same societal norms to suggest that someone is trans. That's the circular logic that I was referring to. A equals B, and I'm trying to prove it by showing you by saying B equals A. But honestly, I think we have to look past all that. So who's to say that an anime girl is not masculine? Can a normally male presenting person put on a female avatar and wear it as a masculine characteristic? There's really no reason why someone can't put on an anime lolly avatar, take one look at themselves in the mirror, and say, yeah, I feel totally Giga Chad about this. Maybe that person's comfortable with their masculinity and just wants to be beautiful. Maybe being beautiful is not necessarily a feminine characteristic. I mean, aren't we supposed to look past imposed societal norms? And let's not forget, most people don't go on to VRChat to appear as what they are. They don't even go onto VRChat to appear how they feel. They go onto VRChat to appear how they want to appear. And if that weren't true, we'd get a lot more people who look like this guy. Or maybe even this guy. Now, as an interview channel, I did go on and try to ask some VR users what they think and if they could offer any insight.
Well, there's not a whole lot of options for masculine avatars in VR chat. Usually, what you get are range from small children to incredibly masculine, buff bodybuilder types. This one's kind of like in the middle of that.
Like it's that IRL. I am manly as f. I got hair all over my body. I'm not ripped, but I'm pretty good looking. I have a girlfriend, biological female. Like we chillin'. But in here, I'm like, I'm going to go crazy and be a, and it's great. Like that's how I chill.
There's trans people, there's a lot of trans people, and that's a whole topic in and of itself. And then there's e-girls and e-boys. People will probably call your avatar an e-boy. There's e-girls, e-boys, and most everyone's a cat girl in here. And another thing is that when you get on here, a lot of people find that it splits open something in their psyche. But a lot of people have experienced, that I've talked to, have experienced that they start questioning traditional narratives. I mean, I think that's the really ultimate lesson of it, is that it's forcing people to really take a deeper look at the narrative that they've been handed. Because we're all social creatures, right? And a lot of our needs aren't getting met on a social level. That's why people turn to VR chat. I think it's not a game, right? We're just talking. There's no game. There's no, I mean, in a traditional sense. So it's all socialization.
When I started playing VRChat, I got more introduced into like the LGBTQ community and right. And so basically, it's like I went on like a whole thing of like figuring out my gender identity, mainly out of curiosity, for like just in general being curious about myself. Then that led into my gender identity questioning. But other than that, I do just feel I've always, ever since all of that happened, I've always felt just more comfortable using female avatars, and stuff like that. I used to, when I started playing VR, I was only in male avatars and stuff like that. But as of recently, I've been using female ones. They're just more cozy and comfortable for me.
I personally feel that VRChat itself is more than a game. It's a place where people can get on here and be who they truly want to be.
So we wear this avatar a lot. We match in this avatar a lot.
Right.
Female avatars just move a little bit better than male
They
ones
move,
do. Males are
like the
very
hips and
like
stuff.
boxy,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like the female ones have a lot more like hip movement, like when you're dancing in them or if you're in full body, they move a lot better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
which
it's
is,
just a
of
way
course.
of presenting your personality, you know. I don't know. It's easier to express yourself through a female avatar than it is with a male one. Something to keep in mind is a lot of people, when they come online, they don't want to be themselves. They want to be
Sure.
someone completely different. You know, they don't
Sure.
they don't express their real life selves. They have an online identity, and if your online identity is Geist, or if your online identity is Pope, and you wear female avatars, and you are mute, and you go to bars, that's who you are. That is you. You know, your real life self doesn't matter.
I think what it comes down to is that it's a little bit of everything. There are clearly some VR users who are female presenting males in IRL, and they carry their trans identity with them into VR with their avatars. I know several of them. And then there are also those who will only entertain their cross gender appearance in VR and choose not to share that side of themselves openly IRL. I know several of those people as well. But then there are a lot of VR users who are normally, let's say, straight male presenting in IRL, and then they jump into VR as an anime lolly, not because they're trans or closet trans, but just because they feel comfortable with it. But let me tell you what I think. I don't think this phenomena has anything to do with the whole trans topic or LGBTQ topic or any of that. That's all a very highly charged distraction. It's a shiny object that prevents us from seeing anything else. I think that what this is really all about is something much deeper. Society is altering itself to accept a new form of communication, and that comes with change, maybe even including change of self-perception. Now, in an earlier video, I suggested that there are two fields where significant advances force society to warp itself around them, and one of those fields is communication. Looking back throughout history, you can see that when a significantly new form of communication arises, society is forced to warp itself around it. It changes the world. The written word changed the world. The advent of the printing press changed the world. The telephone changed the world, as well as the ability to link computers. And now we see new platforms of VR, such as VRChat, not a game, but a new form of communication. And now I think we're going to see how society changes in response to this new form of communication. And perhaps just one tiny piece of that change is going to be a very profound difference in how people view themselves. I can't wait to see what changes next. Well, I want to thank you for joining me. I am Kinetic, and I will see you next time.